Rock stars, let's talk about the top 5 intermediate must-knows and why. I've taught for several decades now, and if I was going to say, hey, these are the beginner bits that everybody should know, these are the top 5 that graduate you, if you will, from beginner level to intermediate level. They are the things that move the needle the most, that aren't crazy difficult to do. They're not advanced type stuff, but they're definitely not beginner, and you're gonna get the most out of these, okay? So let me name them for you really quickly to save you time if you don't know these, if you need help with any of them, or if you need reasons why these are amazing, then stick around, okay? So the 5 things are bar chords, the caged system, the pentatonic scale, the number system, and what I mean by that is the number system, diatonic harmony. Don't get scared about all that, but how it relates to the chords, and knowing that, which is kind of a secret code, if you will. If you don't know it, you don't know it. If you know it, now you know it. And it works for all keys and all. Super important. And the last thing is having the ability to easily identify the tonic, okay? So let's go into why these are so important, and we'll just kind of brush through them really quickly, and if you need more help with them, in the description of this video will be links to places where you can get all of it for free, okay? Because I'm here to help you. All right, so let's talk about it. Bar chords, right? The concept of bar chords is taking any shape that is in the open position and then moving it up the neck. Why is this powerful? Well, because you can take any chord shape and move it up the neck and 12x your chord vocabulary, okay? And having the ability to do that just means so much more freedom on the guitar neck and the ability to play chords wherever and whenever you desire. If you don't know bar chords, if you're a beginner, I get it. If you're kind of wanting to move into that next level, know some bar chords, okay? The cage system. The cage system has to do with bar chords, but it has to do with shapes, C, A, G, E, and D. Those 5 basic major chord shapes moved up and down the neck, but in such a way where you can play any major chord 5 different ways. Now, the way that I teach it, I teach you how to do this with minor chords as well as minor 7th chords and dominant 7th chords. Now you can do it with other chords as well, but in my systems I show you 4 different ways to do that. Basically 5 different shapes, 4 different flavors times 12, and starts adding up really quickly, right? So what's that, 4 times 5, you got 20 times that, it's 240 chords really easily, right? So understand knowing where they're at all times, right? Why is this valuable? Well, many reasons, as well as capoing, knowing where to capo, but also if I'm playing in a band and my buddy's playing this C chord and I want the ability to play another version of that C chord, or to play up here, or play up here, or play up here, the cage system allows us to know where all those chords are at instantly, okay? Great for rhythm guitar, great for soloing. The pentatonic scale. The pentatonic scale looks like this. That's the A minor pentatonic scale. 5-8, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-8, 5. And if you want to extend it, 8. Now the great thing about this is you can play it in the minor key. So if we were playing in A minor, it would work great just like that. If we wanted to play in C major, then it would work for C major as well. Same form. So this is where we're getting into relative major and minor. We won't get into that, but I do teach that here on YouTube, all right? So you could take this form, you can move it up and down the fretboard in any key. The reason why the pentatonic scale and the understanding of how to use this is the more important thing. If you say, Eric, I know the pentatonic scale, that's great. I have a hammer too. Do I know how to use it, right? Do you know how to use the pentatonic scale? Just having a hammer in your toolbox is not going to help if you don't know which end to hold that hammer, if you don't know what weight of hammer you should use, if you don't know what the other side does to pull nails out or whatever. Obviously, I'm simplifying this, but the pentatonic scale, if you don't know how to use it, if it's not handy for you, then you don't really know it. Everybody might know the form, or a lot of people do, but actually getting good at it is a whole nother story, right? So get to be able to identify the key of a song, we'll talk about that in a minute, and then be able to use that pentatonic scale all over, okay? Very important. The number system, or the Nashville number system, is a way of identifying chords according to their number as opposed to the specific chord. Now, this may sound confusing, but I promise you the more you look into it, the more the mist starts lifting in regards to music in general. Super powerful stuff. Didn't know about this for years until I moved to Nashville, where it's a very common system to be used in the studios, mainly for transcribing and changing keys and that sort of thing. But I found it to be indispensable for many other uses, including knowing what chord should be what, the flavor. Should it be major? Should it be minor? Should it be diminished? And when I say should be, there is a basic fingerprint of diatonic music, diatonic harmony, that which makes up all of blues and rock and jazz and classical and etc. It's all based off of diatonic harmony, or the major scale. It's where we get our jazz modes from, etc., etc. It all is based off of the major scale: whole step, half step, whole, half, and the iterations of the chords because of that. We can't get into the nitty gritty, but let me just tell you that if I'm listening to a song and I can hear that bass line, first I'm going to identify the key. We'll talk about that in a minute. But once I identify the key, I know approximately 99% of the time what the chords could be. Super important, because now instead of grabbing at the tens of thousands of chords that there are, you know that realistically it's probably just these 6 or 7 chords. Super helpful, all right? The last one is the ability to easily identify the tonic of a song. Super important, because if you don't know the tonic of a song and you're trying to do anything like understand what the chords are, like understand what key it's in, if you wanted to improvise over it, if you wanted to create some little jam over the top of it, some little guitar part over it, it's going to be very difficult to do that without understanding the key. Could you use your ear? Yeah, sure you could. But you could also use your ear in order to determine what the key is and reveal a lot more information. Now, the tonic, understanding what the tonic of the song is, and then understanding what the number system chords are, or at least what the appropriate chords are, those two together are like magic. And when you start adding the cage system and everything else to it, all of a sudden you're a whiz kid on this instrument, and you'll know exactly where to go, or all the possibilities of places you can go, and to eliminate the places that aren't going to make any sense, okay? So what I mean by the tonic of a song is the key of that song. If it's in the key of C or if it's in the key of G, is going to determine some different things. It's going to determine what chord's the tonic, what chord's the dominant chord. And in order to determine what the tonic of a song is, there's many different ways to do it. I have a video for that as well, but essentially there's a few different ways to, it's usually the very first chord of a song. It's usually the last chord of a song. I say you have to be a detective to do this, because there's several different things that you want to look at, and each one will help determine and solidify what the tonic is. So first chord of the song, last chord of the song, the last note of a chorus. The last note of a song oftentimes will be the tonic. If you, obviously you could just go online and look, hey, this is in the key of C. The signature, the key signature, if you're used to reading music, will determine what the key of that song is. The chords that are in that song will determine what the key is. It's the DNA of music, if you will. I know I've thrown a lot at you, but this is more to entice you, to tell you that these are the things that you really need to know. And you could take a long time or a short amount of time learning the basic concepts of these, a long time really getting them underneath your fingers, in your brain, and into your playing, okay? So make sure you check out those links below, because that's where you're going to further be able to really do this stuff and really get this under your fingers. All right, my friends, I'm here to help you. I'm passionate about your success. Thumbs up, hit subscribe. Let me know your comments below. I'll see you in the next video.